Paltrocast.
Corin, how's your day going aside from answering the same questions over and over and over again?
Darren, my friend, that's the first time anybody's asked me that question. So you're already off to a great start. It's wonderful. As an is that an avocado floating back there?
The really quick story was I took it from an avocados from Mexico press event, and
Oh,
it never deflated these 8 months later. And I don't know what to do with it. Do you deflate it? Do you float it into the sky? What do you do with an
you
avocado?
make guacamole out of it. What are you talking about, dude? Any avocado that's lasted that long on the shelf deserves to be eaten.
Totally. Well, hey, cutting to the chase with Place of Bones, before I ask all sorts of interesting stuff you probably have not been asked. Fun movie to make? Because I know it's not the most fun topic, not the most fun scenario, but it's a great cast, yourself included.
Look, it was a magical experience. Richard Taylor's script, first off, when I got a quick story. David Lipper, who's one of the main producers on this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. He's. I did a small role in a film with him a few years back. That was a small role, but I did something big with it. And he remembered that, and when they were casting for this, he called me up and said, "Hey, man, I have an opportunity here. I think you'd be right for this role. You're going to have to audition with the director and Heather Graham and everything, but just know I'm pushing for you for this because this is a role that unfortunately, in if it was a not such an indie approached type of project, likely would have gone to a Steven Dorff or Ethan Hawke or somebody else. You know what I mean? That you would expect." And fortunately, me and David, little palsy wowsy thing, I got to audition for them, and they saw it and gave me the chance to bring Austin Calhoun to life. And God bless them all for doing it, man, because it was one of the greatest roller coaster rides I've had in my career as an actor. One of
Mhm.
the most well written scripts, one of the most wonderful dynamic character arcs, especially for Brielle Robillard, the actress. I'm not sure if this is her first film or not, but her playing Heather Graham's daughter in this. I think her character has the most dynamic arc of all
Sure.
in the whole thing. You see her go through the greatest learning curve and experiential curve of anybody. But Heather Graham's performance of just this inflexible, rock hard, just you see the moments she's such a wonderful actress, but so you see the moments when she could crack, when she gets to the breaking point, but doesn't allow herself to go there. And that to me, is it's difficult to play that, number one. And she did just a bang up job. This is going to do a ton for her career. Not that anything needed to be done for her career. Her career has always been incredible, but this is going to do a lot.
Before I go to the next topic, I've had the pleasure of interviewing David, and it's great to see that he's found success as a producer after all the acting stuff and the Full House, etc. But hey,
Yeah.
back to you here. You mentioned about characters. I know your most recent book, creating a character, goes into the craft and all that. So, is that kind of your guiding principle when it comes to a role like this?
Yes, absolutely. The world that was already created, the production design that was done on a shoestring budget was incredible. They did a great job on the production design. I don't know the gentleman's name right offhand, but he had worked with my father on a movie called Ironclad, that my dad was the production designer on a number of years back, and it was the first job he was ever given in the film business. And then here I was working on a film with him, and now he's the production designer.
Mhm.
So, my dad, I mean, my dad still actively works in the industry. Joe Nemec the third, look him up. He's incredible.
Mhm.
But this is about Place of Bones, man. And he did a great job bringing the world to life. So let me tell you something, man. The wardrobe department, the makeup department, the production design, the cinematography, the directing, all of this, all was able to bring Richard Taylor's script to life in a way that you feel like you're there. When a good movie makes you feel like you shouldn't be watching it. like you're peeking in through a peephole as an audience member, and this accomplishes that to a T.
Well, I have two quick questions. Then I'm going to let you go because the world wants to speak to Corin today. And the first one is my wife has this. She loves this thing. One of your great early roles. 30th anniversary is this year. Were there any talks about a 30th anniversary thing of The Stand?
Well, I mean, they redid the miniseries, so I don't know how you can have a 30th anniversary of anything now. It's sort of like, it kind of disqualifies it as being unique since they've already redone it in less than 30 years. So,
Well,
uh,
where I was
but
going was the Fathom events, one night only rumor thing, or the Comic Con reunion kind of deal. It sounds like the answer is no.
oh, yeah, I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about it. I think that'd be a genius idea. But the I think they'll probably be doing Place of Bones conventions, man. When this comes out, because it's got such a great dark, wonderful world that you have to sit through as it. I mean, I got to tell you, the character of Austin Calhoun is one that as an actor is very rare in life. You get an opportunity across your desk to really bring something to life that has so many different layers to it, and you actually have time on set to perform almost like a stage play at different in different moments. But the way that Audrey directed it, the way that the cinematographer shot it, Andres, I always fuck up his last name. Excuse my French, but great cinematographer. He did Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, and you can really you really get that feel of old school filmmaking with this, where you allow the story to take place organically inside a gorgeous frame with beautiful lighting in a beautiful set with
Mhm.
wonderful writing, and then the rest is history. So Place of Bones it's gonna have a life of its own. I think that is going to be unstoppable when it comes to uh, once people get to the end of it. They're going to want to share. They're going to want everybody to have the same experience they have when they get to the end and they get that sixth sense twist. They're not going to say a word about it, and they're going to say, "You haven't seen that movie yet? Watch it."
That last quick question before I let you go, which has nothing to do with this great new film, Place of Bones, is I'm very aware of your early days in hip hop and graffiti stuff, and you're around Faustino and all that. Now, I'm trying
Oh
to
yeah.
place that full scene because I did know about Starving and all that you did with Faustino. But were you around the Zappa kids and or Frank Meyer in that early hip hop scene?
Well, yes, I knew that. I knew the Zappa kids. Not too well. The main dudes I hung out with were into the graffiti art. Which crossed over into the music scene, the hip hop culture, and all of that. But I spent most of my time with David Arquette and Balthazar Getty. Seth Benzer, who was the lead singer
Yeah,
of Crazy
Shifty.
Town, and he
We lost that
unfortunately
guy.
passed away. It's tragic, and even Yeshi Pearl, who's Mickey Avalon. He was in our scene back then with all these cats doing graffiti. Justin Warfield, the lead singer from She Wants Revenge, was in my graffiti crew, and we're still tight to this day. All of that, the whole artistic thing for me came out of that world and that scene, and I'm still friends with my buddies to this day, and I still go and paint with dudes I've been painting with since the '80s when I'm out west and stuff, and I still paint down here in Florida when I get a chance and stay close to the culture. I got my graffiti art website is at the 169 on
Yes.
Instagram if anybody's interested. But but if there's anything that's even that even to be considered great artwork, it would be the movie Place of Bones, man. Because beginning, middle, and end, dude, it's beautifully painted, beautifully painted. Everybody's going to enjoy it.
I see what you did there. Congrats on that. Next time I speak with you, I'm going to grill you about Rock and Jock because you were part of that great event. But Corin, thank you for the
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, the Rock and Jock thing's hilarious. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, me and my buddy Kev Hicks, who's in a group right now called Gumbo. You should look them up. They're a great hip hop group. But we had gone down there and we went to some I forget. I think it was a Two Live Crew party the night before, and and we didn't wake up in time for the game, and we missed it. We showed up right when the buzzer went off at the very end, so I didn't even get to play in it. I was a terrible basketball player anyway. So that was my Rock and Jock basketball jam story. I didn't make it to the game until the buzzer sounded.
Awesome. Well, thanks and congrats on Place of Bones, and keep up all the great work you're doing as an author, as a coach to actors, as a graffiti artist, and so forth.
Yes, placeofbonesmovie.com. Look it up.
Paltrocast.